Okay, there we go. Max is 2 of them. That's okay. I didn't know I would get ads if I don't renew my membership. So my climb of Chest Mountain will be over the board. I'm not playing with that. I'm not renewing my membership. I don't want to play 2 games, Max. Why does he do these conditional moves? I'm going to stop. Or is it just showing me that? I don't know. I don't get it. So it's his move. Why is it still showing up on here? Just to wake up. This one done in 1932. It doesn't matter. Choose your time well. I'm sure the computer wouldn't have a problem with that. Now it would, because that would all open up. I, of course, can do that because my night will come if the check happens. So you don't want to castle that way. Let's go ahead and go here. See, I'm kind of fine though. It's down a pawn. Yeah. Well, now you're not in good shape. So now I got my pawn back. Which is only because you misplayed it terribly. What if I go here? Okay, so if I go here, you can't go there because of the pin. If you don't do anything, you let me get that pawn with check. Yeah, I think I can go there actually. I know I wrote to slide over. Let's do it. I'm pretty sure I can leave that. So what you'd then have to do is give it away. If I take, you don't have any checks. So then you could go and defend that pawn. I would go there. I'm pretty sure I could use my queen if I wanted to. Bad habit of online chess. That's a lazy move. Probably not good. You just take the pawn. But a lot of people, they just panic because they start to see mating threats. They don't even think about it. They don't think logically anymore. Okay, so you're not competent. That's fine. I'm very grumpy in the mornings. This is morning to me. Watch how I'm super happy, funny, and energetic right after my shower. Ideally some food, but I think I'll be okay without food. I just need to get in the shower. When I say okay, I mean able to function in society, able to tolerate a little bit of bullshit as is life. And able to cope with chess losses without throwing my computer or hitting things. The enemy's in a bit of a pickle. And suddenly that horsey galloping is not so fantastic, is it, enemy? It is, but you gotta then be smart to get your king to safety. Okay. Sure. Okay, so I can go there. Of course, threaten that. Go there. See no harm in there. Probably the best move. Because now you must make decisions with your life. Can't do that, idiot. No. Wait a minute. So here and there, then you have to use your rook. It's probably there. I think that's gonna waste time run to safety, man. So you have to use your rook. Let's go there. Good chat, because you don't want to let me get 2 pawns here. You can have my 2, but I'll be totally in control. So you have to consider that check, so you have to use a move. Bad move. Bad maneuvering, too. Even if your king's not safe, you had a lot of ways you could have. Yeah. I started drinking coffee. Makes me feel like an old man, but a lot of people drink coffee my age and younger. I just have never liked coffee. I think I tried coffee once because it was all the rage. I'm like, that tastes awful. But a lot of people think Pepsi tastes awful. But I love Pepsi. It's an acquired taste. You don't have a ton of options, man. Wow. It's getting weird, isn't it? Okay, so it's here. If I go there, of course, the risk of check and discovery happens. So let's do that. Yeah, of course, when we pawn moves, that would be scary. And then if there, then you're just going to go there. Take that pawn. Get these pawns together, give you that pawn, slide that one up, defend it with my rook, and go. I could even go now because I have that. So if here, you definitely just take the pawn. And eliminate this risk. If there, I'm up. This will be fun to look at. It's not the best move. Should be enough. Yeah. I probably wouldn't. So now I can go there. I can threaten that. Pretty easy to defend, but we're a little low on time as out than do. That'd be fine. It's getting weird for you. It's getting real weird. Let's stay there. Then I can go there. Immediately threaten that. That's, well, then I can get there anyway. Should you go there? Then I can go here. It's probably a better move. So now you can't take that. The king is completely fucked. What are you doing? I need to get my dog a real service animal tag. Start taking her to the chess club. I think that would overstay my welcome. My dog's a freaking handful. These people are no good, though. That's why kissing Tyler One's ass is just a disgrace. It's a disgrace to chess. It's a disgrace to the art. Giving Tyler One any attention at all is a disgrace to super grandmasters. Because online chess is not chess. But it is good enough for adults who can't just live at the club to make improvements to our game. Yeah, it's probably resignation is the correct. Resignation is a solution to your chess problem. So now you have to already worry about this, which means you need to defend your. Yeah. Guess we're threatening your rook. You must move again. That's fine. Mwah, ha, 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 ha. Let me get under that pawn to that pawn here. Well, no, I guess you could just kind of hide out. No, because you can't do that, so you have to go there. I want the central pawn. For I'm a greedy chess bastard. Now I want all your hopes and dreams. Tell the DJ play this song for me. Here's my number in case you ever need company. Hell yeah, I'm fly. That's what my money falls. She make though. Giving it all, cause that's what I came for. You see me every time she getting low, 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 yeah. You know she ready to go, go. Mm-hmm. Okay. I've heard 2 queens are better than 1 rook, 4 rooks. I thought 1 queen would have done well enough, but it appears you want to get your ass kicked even worse. It's fine. I will allow it. Boop. 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 Give me 10 months to play 1 online chess battle against a beginner. And if I'm talking or not at the club, interesting, I use my time pretty well. If I'm at the club, I think kind of like people went insane during COVID. I mix home with work, which is chess. And I just lose it. But if I'm at the club, I manage my time well. I play a little better, even though I'm playing online. I thought the fucking noise canceling phone booth would help that, but apparently it doesn't. I'm gonna go shower. I'll be right back. While I'm gone, I don't know if any viewers this time. Yeah, Robbie, what's up? Hi, Robbie. If you rejoin, challengemeonchess.com. Please enjoy this picture of chess.com while I enjoy my shower. Oh, chess.com. See, I'm losing it. Of Hans Niemann while I'm in the shower. I don't think about Hans Niemann while I shower, just his streams. The positions you show me. I just think about positions Hans Niemann likes while I'm in the shower. Future of chess. American sensation. Legendary Hans Niemann. here. No, get him. Come here now. Let that shower. You want to get you? Come here. No. No car. Yeah. Whoa, where'd Hans Niemann go? No one's ever going to watch my streams. There's Hans Niemann. That's a close one. I'm a large child who craves challenges and some responsibility and is proficient in Microsoft Suite. It's the little things in life. For example, even though these notations include, well, more than notations, even if I put in the black ones by checkmate, it doesn't matter. DO6 cleans Gambit. Gosh darn it, Notepad++. I forget I'm not in Microsoft anymore. Different shortcut commands and stuff. If there's any shortcut commands, I don't really know. Martial defense. And if I put in bowlandchess.com's analysis, there's options where I can include like the time I made each move and the move classification, even alternative lines. If I put those in, I'm pretty sure chess.com and other chess engines would simply understand the game still. And it's not a new feature. There's a lot more amazing things AI is doing, but it's still just incredible. Sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll think of some simple innovation such as that, such as making it to where I don't have to get the notations perfectly. It understands what I want or what I'm saying. It's like, how cool is technology, even if it might kill us all and make humans completely obsolete in the workplace. Hashtag Microsoft layoffs. I was talking to my granny. And my granny tries. She wants to understand computers. I organized my grandparents' computer, retrieved some of their passwords, bookmarked some shit. Consolidated some Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. And my gramps is sitting there, and he's very capable. He's, I guess he's not book smart, but we never really had a way to know if he is or not. But he figures stuff out, and you can show him YouTube on how to fix some issue around the house that he's never seen before. And within 5 minutes, he's like, YouTube taught me how to do this. I'm like, my generation can't even figure that out, Gramps. But when it comes to computers, he's not real savvy. So my Gramps is kind of just cool if I do it for him. You know, he's sitting there to flatter me and my granny. But my granny's sitting there with her notepad. And sometimes she gets it. Asking good questions. But my granny had a tech guy who helped her with stuff that I could have done without touching the mouse. I'm like, how much you pay him, Granny? And she told me the amount. I'm like, bullshit, no. Don't take advantage of my sweet Granny. And I was talking to my Granny about AI, who just has like her only understanding of what I've told her. And as I was explaining her computers and AI, there were so many beginner level things that I had to learn. And of course, I didn't use the terminology and stuff to confuse Granny, but I'm amazed. I don't know much about hardware, but I met a guy who does the cabling for data centers, taught me a little bit about it. And I explained it at a very high level to Granny. Wow. That's stuff that Bill Gates figured out decades ago. And now we've improved on it. And now we have chess software that not only analyzes our games, but if humans input it in a sloppy manner, it still understands our notations. What a great time to be alive. I'll be right back. You can see Hans Niemann, don't you? There's Hans. Wish I could give control of my screen or put in a feature where if you watch the rerun, you can select from a collage of Hans Niemann photographs. Probably a way I can do that. There he is. Was a little too schoolboy there. That might have been when he was deciding on if he wants to go to Harvard or not. And yeah, they rejected him, but really they just didn't want to scare the whole campus. He's such a competent human. One Hans Niemann or the entire Harvard campus? Definitely one Hans Niemann, but you got to make money somehow. So no Hans Niemann at Harvard. The enrollment would go to one, which is the most competent chess human on the planet. In a few years, with the most potential. Once Hikaru Nakamura, Magnus Carlsen, a few others, they're already out of their prime years, but past 40, it'll be Hans Niemann's world. I'm just thankful to live in it. There he is. It was so good. How'd that be coffee from? What a dog, what a dog. Yeah, I just came in with a shirt on my head with my shirt off. It's a competitive world. I'd say it's easier for women to get started in content. A pretty woman, not to be hateful, because I think there are many talented women streamers, especially in chess. When I talk about streamers, I'm not talking about chess women, even if they are professional streamers, because they're in a class of their own. The chess women are. But it is certainly possible to make a living being a 5 hot woman who flaunts it a little bit and never takes her clothes off. Certainly possible. I'm not talking part-time or side hustle money. I'm talking buy a house, 5 hot woman who's willing to flaunt it and knows how to run a business a little bit. I have Uber-driven veterans, so Memorial Day is tomorrow, who are working. It's not like every veteran served in combat and has a majorly traumatic story, though there are many, and I'm grateful for their service, even those who didn't serve in combat. But still, I mean, they served our country, and they're going to come back doing sometimes a bullshit job, 40 hours a week or more at difficult hours. And a woman who has never had again, not every woman, but some women, just like some men, have not had much hardship. And she can just say, I want to go turn on OnlyFans and make way more money than men and women who make the world go. Construction workers, hard manual labor jobs are necessary. It's absurd. I'm not saying women don't have it difficult or that we should not give women opportunities the same we should men, but it's ridiculous. So I would certainly stream naked. Have to work out a little bit. But yeah, I'd do it. Especially if my numbers aren't steadily improving in the coming years. Like I said, it is Memorial Day. I won't go down this rabbit hole, but it's not the reason I started streaming, but I never would have been in situations or been in the situation during COVID lockdown to have the thought of streaming or time to watch streamers. Hello, viewer. And since I had time to watch YouTubers, and I'm like, these people make money. And again, the chess people are an exception, but a lot of them are not kind, are misogynist. And I'm far from misogynist. You hear me say some jokes like women have it easier in content creation because they do. They have an easier foot in the door. But some of those influencers, which is why I think women should be nice to men, not hashtag called out, hashtag me too, because you're making them richer, more popular. But they don't hate women themselves. But some young men, they're going to lead toward hating women. Some of those influencers don't play an instrument. I play 4-2 very well. They would never take the time to learn something like chess. Some of them don't even speak well, or they have major flaws in their speaking, such as the repetitive use of filler words. And I've worked on these things, not that I'm Martin Luther King Jr. when it comes to speaking, but they have a big following. They're making a living. They don't have real jobs. I'm talking men now too. And they can't even remove excessive filler words. Some people stutter. That's not an issue either. But if it's not something we were born with, to not work on that as a YouTuber, how did you get so big? And when I was watching all of these people during COVID lockdown, because what else was I going to do? I was single again, couldn't go outside, didn't have a job anymore, had a lot of money saved. That's the only reason I could watch YouTube, which led me to the chess people. Oh my God, there's something intelligent out there that I can watch while the world ends. But also, as I was watching it, I slowly got the thought, I could do that. And they're better at chess than me, but even without a video editor, like the big streamers I'm sure have, I have 4 years of tech training. I got to help with or even do learning material, create learning material for more than 7 system rollouts. That's all content is. The only widely used software that I'm sure streamers use that I was already familiar with was Snagit, but the corporation I worked for had many, probably much better training tools that I at least got to look at. So I knew how to do it. I saw what these people make. I'm like, I'm doing it. But the H-1b visa program is what led me to the loss of my job, the pain, the loneliness. And had I been let go in a humane manner or kept my job like I should have, according to the law, I never would have done this stuff. And I would have had a referral. I would have just went to another job. I was living the good life. And since it is Memorial Day, I'm going to briefly rant about the H-1b visa program. It's Memorial Day. He's racist. He's racist. I'm not racist. That's what a racist would say, Dayton. Then bring the racists over here. I'll beat their ass because racism's mean. Would a racist say that? Challenge another racist to a fight? Of course not. But on a serious note, Memorial Day, thank you to our veterans. This is absurd. And of course, it's the top of the news. And this is how it works, too. While our soldiers die, some veterans come back with PTSD. I don't know anything about this man. He became the CTO. I think they got him from Amazon. Had some prior experience at Google. He became the CTO probably deep into my second year, maybe, at Walmart corporate. And the previous man, his name was Clay Johnson. I don't remember where Clay came from. Maybe Microsoft too. Microsoft or Dell. But that Clay Johnson guy got the Microsoft Azure stuff figured out for Walmart. Everyone liked him. He said hi to me and little people when he walked by. Very nice, very stern. Heard nothing but great things all around the company. I never Googled him to understand his life, but pretty good dude. And one day there was a mass email in the politically correct terminology corporate America uses. Basically, thank you, Clay, for all you've done. We'll be seeing you. What? You just got here. And he was replaced with this man named Suresh Kumar. Not a few months after, maybe even weeks, Suresh replaced Clay. And there are many big shots in tech, but I'm pretty sure they all report to this guy. So it should have been a direct replacement. There were more H-1b visas. Deloitte consultants started being handed our jobs, whereas formerly they were consultants. Sometimes their contract got renewed, which I thought was shady because it means they didn't do a very good job of training Americans, or they didn't try very hard. And basically, as soon as this guy took over Walmart's tech division, you could see a change. Deloitte consultants being handed our jobs. Managers would still go on recruiting trips. But at least my team and the teams I was familiar with, they found fewer American workers on their recruiting trips to college campuses. And I'm not talking Missouri State. Go Bears. We're a great school. We're not a tech power, which is weird because David Glass went there, and our business school is named after David Glass, probably the most influential tech guy Walmart's ever had. The reason their tech is good. But they couldn't find any Americans at BYU suddenly, at Temple, at the very best SAP schools in the country. I found some from Arkansas, of course. Wow. And what changed? Leadership changed. The former VP, who was a very competent woman who happens to be white, didn't lose her job, but she was out the door to, I think, finance, where she had some previous experience in. Like, man, they're just going to clean house all the way down. And then below her replacement, which guess what? It's a man named Yazdi Bagley. I don't know anything about him. I'm sure he's fine. But Suresh gets an Indian under him. And under that man, we're going to bring in a guy on a visa who's not Indian, but he is on a visa. So there's some control. I don't know what type of visa he was on. And underneath him, well, now you have aging managers who don't want to lose their jobs. So as soon as leadership at the top changed, This man was not born in America. I'm all for immigration. Everything became India. Everything. Until during COVID lockdown, those former Deloitte consultants who never should have had anything more than display access have everything Americans have. They were shown if you don't train American workers or you defame them, you'll get their jobs. I'm not the only one to tell this crazy story. And Americans get chased out. Memorial Day is tomorrow. Soldiers die. This man was not born in America. He gets the job. Suddenly, nobody's going to advocate for American workers. If you lived in this, not saying at Walmart, but at another tech company, you might want to speak up now. I don't know if the other companies do that. I don't have a problem with them because we're innocent until proven guilty. But I know these articles are not made up or racist. It really is happening. Everything is going to tech. If you think I'm a teacher or my kid wants to be a doctor, don't believe for a second this type of discrimination on American soil will not affect you. They will get an Indian in at the top. He will choose mostly Indian managers, just enough Americans to avoid being obvious. And it will trickle down until literally no Americans are welcome. They would never provide these stats because Walmart would refute these articles. Get a corporate spokesperson to clean it up real nice. But on many teams, probably the majority, it's 10 Indians to 1 American. As independent contributors, and in some departments, there are many more Indian managers than American managers. But let's focus on the 10 to 1 estimate. You're telling me 10 to 1 or even 3 to 1 is not biased. It took you 10 foreign temp workers to find 1 equally skilled American. That's so wrong. That's so wrong. Even Kevin O'Leary, one of the biggest proponents of capitalism, will say, look, if you're going to do that, shut your mouths on Veterans Day, you pieces of shit. I like Kevin O'Leary for that reason. Go make your money. Don't talk about Veterans Day. Then hand Deloitte consultants American jobs. And on Memorial Day, I'm sure some Walmart corporate people will talk about how grateful they are. I'm telling you, there will be nothing left. There will be nothing left. And some who heard that statement would say he's racist. There will be nothing left. And when there is nothing left, and this H-1b visa concept spreads to medical school, sports, and it's your kid or your family or your job, you will really care. And it will be far too late to fix it. Most things in life are more about opportunity than natural talent, especially non-physical endeavors. They will give each other the opportunity. Once they are in power, some will try to pass laws such as the H-1b, but for, stupid thing, different industries. They will slowly but surely vote Americans out in America, and we will become the minority in my lifetime. That H-1b visa says, yeah, see, he's born in India. And then if we say anything like this stream, oh, we just don't want to compete. Americans are lazy. No, there's a similar number of Indians who are lazy, did not come from hardship, did not work specifically hard, as there are Americans. Some came from crap, just like some Americans did. There are many who are no good, no interest in improving. And as many articles you'll read, state they have no desire to respect America, assimilate. I believe it's a term one article used, assimilate into our culture, or even speak English. Memorial Day is tomorrow. If we want to send soldiers to risk their lives, sometimes die for our freedom, and then let America get to where we can't even respectfully ask that English be spoken or that I be coached. Don't punish companies for doing stuff like that. They bluffed because a young man, and this is a terrible look. Big shots, even above him, the board want to spin it as, we're just making America competitive. You're bringing India to live here. And like I said, 10-1, took you 10 Indians to find one American. Are you kidding me? Even if they had much better tech colleges, 10-1. Oh man, that's wrong. But above him, they just care about their company. Their CEO is a poster boy for Walmart, which is why you put him there. It's all about Walmart. They don't care if Americans don't have an opportunity once they pass. They don't care about how not only unethical but illegal that is unless they get punished. All they care about is their company. And eventually, Americans will have no opportunities because you need advocates to get promoted in that world. And the sad thing, unlike many jobs or other industries like teaching, if you're not willing to do what it takes to promote, your clock is ticking. So you can promote and choose to be like them, bow down. That means lie to the government. We couldn't find any qualified and willing to work Americans. And that's your life. You lie to the government, you piss on the American flag, or you get chased out the door. There is no middle ground. Last point. I saw a quote from some Indian politician. It might have been there was some comment by a big Indian politician, not being rude, but stating, we are proud of our people and what they can do. We wouldn't even want Elon Musk to move his operations to India. To paraphrase, that's their attitude. We protect our own. And they're not racist for doing that. They're not racist for saying, let Elon Musk stay in America. We have pride in our country. But if an American worker shows evidence, dig through my personal life more than the illegal immigrants who raped and murdered young women, harassed my mom, withhold my bonus, don't coach. And I just hope there's many stories like mine that come out, because it's happened to many. And regardless of what a corporation says, 2 points. They're telling the government Americans are too dumb to learn. Spin it however you want. That's what they're doing when they abuse that H-1b visa program. And they are not creating a competitive environment by abusing that H-1b visa program. They're creating this attitude in America, which is, it's okay. They are bringing, I don't know that much about India aside from what I was told by my acquaintances at work. It's okay. There's more corruption there. It doesn't affect me. Deal with it. If I ruin his life as a guest in America, that's fine. Shout to high, baby. in America. Many men died to keep Shalta High out of America. Don't let it, it's already here, stay. I'm not saying they're terrorists, because many, I'm sure, are hardworking, good people like that Suresh guy. But when it comes time, they will favor their own like you cannot imagine, and more so than Americans who favor our own. They'll be together, we'll be divided. They will take over America, because whoever controls tech controls everything. It's their military. And I truly believe Walmart does not deserve to operate. To talk about creating American jobs, to write articles on Veterans Day. I have no problem with that man being given the reins. But to abuse that H-1b visa program, even if it were legal and not just super shady what they're doing. They're still shitty people. And there will be nothing left for Americans or small businesses. Okay. That's my biggest motive for hopefully mastering chess as an adult. If the government can prove, which they will now that different leadership is here, there are qualified and willing to work Americans, or even Americans who are capable of learning software, can't abuse that H-1b visa program. And not only does it affect me, and I care more about America than India, of course, but it affects the H-1b visa holders. Now, in my opinion, it's the responsibility of the many ethical, hardworking, and talented H-1b visa holders to talk to their peers, to talk to the former consultants, which I gather if one had to come here as a consultant and work for a very long time, he or she is probably not as good as an H-1b visa holder who got an opportunity with an American corporation immediately, or impressed them while working remote in India and got a chance to come here. Seems to me those are usually pretty skilled workers, and they're much more grateful and honest. And I would recommend that group, the many ethical, kind, they're not immigrants, they're temp workers, but who hope to become immigrants and live in America, just trying to better their lives and their families. They better talk to those Deloitte consultants and any of their peers who think it's okay to speak Hindi at work. I personally don't find it appropriate to speak Hindi at restaurants in America if you're fluent in English, or Spanish for that matter. But at home, it's your choice. But simply because we don't speak Hindi and you're a guest here, I shouldn't have to learn to speak Hindi to contribute at work. And that's something that is so simple that if I'm a guest in a country, I speak their language. If I were a guest in India, I would be downloading Rosetta Stone trying to learn Hindi. And that is where I would not even be willing to debate with a man or woman who thinks like those at Walmart corporate do. And they would say the same thing about me. Why would we argue? Well, we're never going to see eye to eye on this. And they're kind of correct. But here's my argument. They can say we're taking care of our corporation, we're doing what it takes to win, we want the best talent. And they would say to someone like me, well, we need to teach them how to be Americans. We need to welcome them. Man, I wore some Indian attire. Some American workers put dots on our heads. And I don't have to explain to you why you should speak English. If you can't figure that out, even if you came from a part of the world that is totally different The culture is a complete 180 from what we value in America. If you were a terrorist even, and you can't figure out that everyone's speaking English here, you're a guest. You're taking opportunities from Americans by being here. You speak English. You can't figure that out. Oh, I and many will jump in and fight the richest corporations who act like we're wrong for not explaining that to them. And guess what? If I explained that to them, I would have been fired earlier because I'd be labeled as racist. Figure it out. And let's vote logically, because if there's no threat of punishment, they'll do whatever. They'll bring Indy to live here if they can save a buck. They'll replace every American worker in their tech division, which will be the only really stable industry going forward. Not in the sense of job security, but tech will always be here. I don't know what other industries are going to be here. Tech could change so much. But American leadership will let them take over tech, take over America. And Americans will look around on holidays like Memorial Day and say, what are we celebrating? Or we'll get scratched off the American calendar in favor of Diwali or Indian holidays. And if you don't celebrate Indian holidays, and if there's a conflict, you choose to celebrate American holidays, assuming that type of attitude, that Shalta bullshit, that we have to be everyone's friend and not stand up for America, if that goes, Memorial Day or an Indian holiday, you'll be forced to choose the Indian holiday or lose your job. I lived it. I apologize if that offended anybody. It's the truth. I want American workers to bow down, and if we get wrong, take it or waste our life in court. I've wasted 4 years, and I've done the best I could to make the most of it. That's why I did the content and stuff. They involve my mother. If I die, I don't want to die. That's okay. You don't do that bullshit. Okay, I thought I flipped the board already. But if I can master chess an adult, that argument is out the window. Americans can't learn. We don't have any. Chess is harder than systems. It's much easier to learn as a kid. It's unforgivable what Walmart corporate did in all those articles. I'm not a proponent of going after a man on social media. And I'm not going after anybody. Yeah. But if I can master chess as an adult, their bullshit arguments, there's no qualified one to work Americans, is just completely gone. What it did to me, and in some ways stressed my family, was absolutely absurd. For it to drag out that long. It's worse than treason. I'm gonna stop because I really, as far as politics goes, I'll vote going forward. I've said that I'm not as thrilled about voting, but I'll vote because I'm an American. But if you sat through what I sat through and had my experience during COVID lockdown, it's hard to vote. It's hard to vote knowing that American politicians allowed that to get out of hand and not punish corporations for so long. and the American has to make enemies to possibly get it corrected. While many Indians, such as that Suresh man, who worked very hard, I'm not saying he didn't, live a very good life. Being born elsewhere, come here, and then bring more of his people to take our jobs. I don't care how talented you are. It's disgusting. Okay, as you can see. Talking about that bullshit gets me fired up. And I will never worry about politics again aside from just voting and not thinking too much about it because I stress myself too much already. Yeah. When did I get up? That puts me up that much. I guess so. Exposed king is bad news. Yeah, I figured if you went there, and then I got that. I would be up, but I didn't know I was up by this ridiculous amount. Okay, and as I was saying, okay, yeah, I could have gone there. So if I go here, then you should, I'm assuming, just check your way out of this. Queen G5. So what I'm not understanding about this, go chess. So now where does it show my alternative lines? So if I did that, okay, it's saying there. So then you should go back. Okay, so then of course I would check. Okay, or queen takes on G2. But there is fine as well. Okay, so I have to hit that to refresh it. So then you're going to hide over there, which is why I would just threaten your rook. Your rook would have to go there. Oh, no, because it couldn't. Okay. Yeah. Damn it. No, I'll get your... I shouldn't have to do that every time. Bishop. So is that knight move even your best move? Yeah. Well, of course it is, because that's pressure to my pin piece. But it is so important here to get our king safe. And watch how it all can fall apart if we don't. What? Oh, okay, so that takes me straight to the insides. I'll figure this software out. It'll be fine. Okay, so if that were to have happened. Okay, so see the best continuation. The best play after 11d2. The best move is g3. Okay, so I have to go this route. So the best move is g3. So this is how it wants to do it. Okay, fine. See, and then you can play. In fact, you're slightly better. But I guess intermediate mistake to think that just because you won that pawn that you're much better until your king's safe that's pretty bad. Okay, so that's how this is going to work though, and then I can dig deeper. Okay. That's my one victory for the day. Rant. And now I'm going to walk my dog. Try not to play chess for the rest of the day. Life is perfect.